Good morning. This is Driving with Myles. These are your best driving winter tips to stay safe. If you don't know, I'm a state certified instructor. I teach teens and adults, and I've been doing driver's ed about 21 years. So I prep teens and adults for the DMV test, road test. I do driving tutorials. We do DMV test prep. I am a certified teacher. I teach classes year round. So today we're going to talk about winter driving tips. And that's want to thank you guys and ladies for joining in. So these are some of your best driving winter tips. If you have questions or comments, type them in. Please give us the thumbs up once you're done. Let's go ahead and get into it. A lot of people have a controversy about all-wheel drive versus front-wheel drive. All-wheel drive, you have all four tires uh, providing traction. And that's good. I mean, the more tires you have pulling, the better it is. But a lot of cars have front wheel drive, and there's nothing wrong with that. You just need to know how to drive the vehicle, how to prepare yourself mentally for those different types of road surfaces. Next, let's continue. I'm not going to get into the controversy of winter tires. They do serve a purpose. Winter tires have a special compound that, if you live in Canada or Minnesota, where there's huge amounts of snow, you do need a special tire to provide traction. But they are all season tires, winter, fall, spring, summer. It just depends on the amount. Now, if we lived in Alaska, I mean, obviously you need a special prep tire. That's a unique environment. I think all of you can understand that. But most all-season tires do provide the traction you need unless you live in a unique situation. All tires are good. You do need to have good tires year-round. In the summer, you have to have good tread. The tire will get hot. It will heat up because you're driving on the road. You have to check your air pressure in the morning when the tires are cold. Obviously, you're going to have a heavy downpour in the summer. And when it first starts to rain, the first 7 to 8 minutes, that's when it's most dangerous because the oil, gas, dirt, and grit are mixing together, and you could hydroplane. Hydro means water. Plane means to lift. You could literally slide off the road. So those things are super important. And if you're not sure, go visit a tire manufacturer, Bell Tire, Goodyear, watch some videos, educate yourself because you do need to have good, safe tires when you're traveling on the road. Oh, by the way, I have two good videos yesterday. Drove to Iowa, and it was a 900 it's over 700 miles driving. You want good tires because that is your protection on the road. So you need to check out those two videos. We were over a bridge over the Minnesota River, really incredible view. And then we were on a country highway in Iowa, and they were ditches on both sides. So you really have to see that video. All right, let's keep going. Tires are everything. So if you don't have good tires on your vehicle, you're going to have flat tires. You will be pulling off to the side of the road. And I do try to show my students how to change a tire. I've gotten out there before. Just a side tip, driving, student hit a pothole, really deep pothole, cut the side of the tire, and we had a blowout. She was crying and upset. I told her, it's not your fault. Pulled over off the side of the road into a parking lot. It was in the wintertime. I had to change the tire. It's not the student's fault. So each of you in your life journey, you will have to change a tire. If you don't know how, you're going to have a service come in and wait in the snow. So you have to know how to change a tire. You need to know how to jack up the vehicle. You don't want to get under the vehicle. You need to have the proper lug wrench. So, there's some things that you need to do, but I got it done in about 10 minutes. Got the spare tire on, and then we went to a tire place and got a new tire put on. So you do have to watch out when you drive. Potholes are very common across the world, so all of you know about that. Learn how to slide. Meaning if your car loses control, you don't want to overreact and turn the wheel because if you overreact, you're going to go into the ditch. If you watch those videos from yesterday, The ditches were 5 feet down. I should have jumped in the ditch and video to show you how far down we were up, elevated on the road 5 feet, 6 feet, 7 feet, and it was scary because I haven't been out to Iowa before, and to see that type of road uh, that I'm not used to driving on is quite dangerous. So you need to kind of absorb that information and really be prepared, because you will go across the United States or to another province or to another area. And that's part of the driving experience when you get out there, to enjoy those adventures and drive across the United States or across the province or wherever you are around the world, right? Because that's a part of the driving process. You're not a complete driver if you don't drive to another city, another state, another province. You go from the city to the rural, to the deep, deep rural area where there are no streetlights. I mean, that's how you truly learn how to drive and become well-rounded. So it was a good adventure. It was scary because we arrived late at night, and weren't sure of the roads, and I almost spun out. So you got to be careful. Um, so don't freak out if you slide. You want to lift your foot off the gas pedal. You don't want to make sharp movements. You want the car to kind of settle down, right? And feel what the car's doing. You have to know when your car is sliding, when you have traction, when you've lost traction. And as you drive more and more, you will understand what your car is all about. Right? Don't overreact. It's really easy to overreact and put that car in a ditch. And it's scary. Yes, I've been in the ditch 3 or 4 times. A couple with students. That'll be another story altogether. But you do go through that experience, and you don't want to overreact, because if you overreact, you're going to end up crashing your car, flipping it, and that's when a really bad injury can occur. So keep those turns to a minimum. Take your time, be patient. Um, Winter driving is a skill, and you learn from your environment. If we lived in Hawaii, there's certain things that are there. If we lived in Alaska, there's certain things that are there. If we lived in Toronto, there's certain things that are there. If we lived in Dubai, there's certain things that are there. Every area in the world is unique, and that's the beauty of where we live. Their unique characteristics. So, if each of you could kind of shout, "Hey, driving Miles, I live here in this part of the world. I live here in this country. I live here in this city, this state," and they have unique characteristics. Offer a helping hand. You should always have a tow rope in your vehicle, right? You should always have gloves, a emergency kit. They don't cost much, $15 to $25. Have gloves, have a hat, have a winter coat. Have those emergency things. Have a couple of high energy candy bars, because if you get stranded, you're going to be out there 2, 3, 4 hours. You want to have the proper gear. A lot of us, when we were younger, you don't wear proper clothes. You don't wear a hat. You listen to your mom and dad. Cover your head up. This is where most of your heat leaves your body. Have that hat. Have some gloves, because you have to be prepared for those unusual. It might be a traffic jam. You might be sitting there for an hour. So and when you need gas, you're out on the road. When you're down to about a fourth of a tank, think about getting gas, because we were driving through Chicago. We hit that heavy, heavy traffic, and it was an incredible beast. People are cutting in and out around you, but that's a large metropolitan area, in the United States. So you got to be prepared for those situations, to make you a better driver. Those things make you a better driver. Let's keep going. If you don't have a garage, you're going to have to prep your car, warm it up, have a good ice scraper. That ice scraper is something you're going to need to clean that window off. We all start up the car in the morning. No one wants to go out. You're cold. You got your fuzzy slippers on. You might make some coffee or have some cereal, have some toast. Now you're saying, man, I got to clean this car. I'm so cold. I've been there in those dark mornings, 5:30 in the morning, 6 o'clock, no one out but the bunny rabbits, and you're freezing and you don't have an ice scraper. You have to clean your windows front and back, left and right, have that defroster on. And then when you get in, your car's prepped, it's ready to go. You have to look around. And then you got to deal with your driveway that's full of ice. You could slip and fall. Yes, I fell before. So you got to know how to fall and be careful because your neighborhoods, some of you don't have neighborhoods that will be plowed. Some of you live out in rural areas. And, if you get stuck or in the ditch, you're in there, bro. So have that tow rope ready to go. We talked about having that decent ice scraper. Learn to read the road. And that comes with the experience. If it's real shiny and it's under 30 degrees, that's black ice. Why are you driving fast? Do you want to crash? Do you want to go into the ditch? Bridges, they're elevated. They freeze really fast. So you will learn these experiences either through almost crashing your car or seeing other cars crash or spinning out. All are dangerous and all are really scary. So read the road. Check online. Watch the Weather Channel. Prepare yourself mentally. And most of us have smartphones that will give you a warning. Road is hazardous conditions. Slow down. They're readable signs that give you that information. Always look at information. Talk to your parents. Bridges are notorious for freezing first because they're elevated. Clear the snow, clear it out your driveway. If you don't have to be to work to a certain time, let those plow trucks come out and put salt on the road, put sand on the road. Every province or state or city is different in how they prep the roads, when they prep the roads. There's special drivers who go out and snowplow truck drivers, and they go out and prep these roads. If you don't have to be out in dangerous weather conditions, why are you out there? Why are you spinning across an intersection getting hit? Why are you slowing down? The worst feeling, you're stopped at a light. You see someone who can't stop. You're looking in your rearview mirror and you're like, oh my God, they're getting ready to hit me. And then you get rear-ended. What's up, Trigger? Hey, I got your message. We will get back out there. We'll set something up. We were out there. Scholarship opportunity. I'll tell you more about that. But we were in your neck of the woods, man. I'm doing great. Got in about 2:30 last night. Tired. I decided to go ahead and jump online on YouTube and just make a video about some of the things. But yeah, definitely. We will set it up. We'll let you know, and we'll meet up. So you got to check that winter weather report. And getting out in the wintertime is nice and peaceful. I remember when my daughter was learning how to drive, we went out at 1 o'clock in the morning. And I had her jump in and we were driving around, sliding left and right. And I wanted her to understand how to handle that. So if you get in that situation, you don't overcorrect because you could flip your car, you could roll over, you could slide into a ditch, you could slide through an intersection. So you really have to baby that car and go slow. And if you hit the gas too hard, you're going to spin. If you are making aggressive, sharp movements, you're going to slide off the road. You've got to check that mirror because there are people out there who are just clowning around and they'll just hit you and then they'll keep going. So you got to be careful with that. So good driving tips, you want to have good traction. You want to have good tires. You want to make sure your windows are clean. You want to have a high protein candy bar. You want to have proper, a winter coat, gloves, a scarf, a hat, because you got to get out there in these elements. If you live in a location that has, the different changes of season, you got to prepare yourself mentally. Don't let your car idle in the garage because you're going to have carbon monoxide that's going to build up, and that's a colorless, odorless gas. Thanks for the thumbs up. And in that colorless, odorless gas, you could end up basically dying. So you got to really be careful with that, and be aware of that. You always got to have your car ready to go. Stock up on snacks. We talked about this. Have those high protein bars in the car, granola bar, Snickers. I'm just naming some bars. Get that burst of energy. You might have to get out of your car and have boots on, have that scarf, have that hat. If you're stuck, you're going to have to wait. Probably the safest thing is to stay into the car if it's a really bad whiteout snowstorm. We talked about stacking up on snacks. Assume the worst. We always have to mentally prepare. Chicago was right. We were in Iowa, and we came in at about 9:30. Not used to this road. I think it was 20, and really curvy road. It was 35, then 45, then 55. Everyone's driving really fast. It's dark. Roads are very, very curvy. We are elevated. Ditches 4 feet down, 6 feet down, 8 feet down. One small turn, boom, your car's fishtailing and you're in the ditch. So that's a scary situation. And each of you at one point in your life will go through that driving process. But those things make you better drivers, and you have to go through it. This is nothing your mom and dad can take you through. You have to go through that to stay safe and to find a proper safe speed, right? Always be honest with yourself. Um, so let's kind of identify some of these things. The more you're on the road, the better you'll be. Invest in a good windshield cover. Also, change those windshield wipers once a year. That's probably the most critical thing, because if you have good windshield wipers, they won't leave streaks. They'll clean that window, and make sure you have good windshield washer fluid in the car. Before we left, I had put windshield washer fluid in the car. And if you've been on the interstate driving 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, it's a totally different journey than driving in the city for a good 20 minutes. Half an hour, going to grandma's house, going to your cousin's house, right? Going to the mall. You're out there on the road. You see semi trucks. You see different vehicles. People are driving really fast, really slow, drifting in your lane. We stayed in the middle lane to be safe. The lane to the right is for slower moving traffic. The lane to the left is the passing lane. Chicago, if you're still here, they were flying in Chicago. The speed limit is 70. They're doing 15 over. They're doing 80. They're doing 85. They're doing 90. You have to be safe. If you drive at that high speed, it's illegal. And number two, now you're at a really high speed. Cars cut in front of you. If you hit the brakes too hard, you're going to fishtail all over the road. So you got to drive safely at that speed limit. You want to get to your destination fast. You're going to be tempted to drive faster, but you won't get there any faster. Right? You got to be safe out there. And plus, if you get a ticket in another state, another province, another country, now you got to deal with that. So there's some things you got to deal with. So be smart. Hey, how you doing, Sean? So be out there. Be safe. We're talking about winter driving tips. Drove to Iowa yesterday, 9-hour drive, some snow, some ice, heavy traffic through Chicago. They're not playing in Chicago. Let me tell you, I've been to Chicago multiple times, heavy, heavy traffic. If you've been in a large metropolitan city and you've been through heavy traffic jams, and check this out. Our gas was getting low, fam. We were at about 100 miles, then 70 miles. We were both looking at the gas gauge like, you got to get off and get gas. So if you've been through this experience, you get in heavy traffic, your gas is running low. So here's what happens. Good job. Good question. Here's what happens in wintertime driving. Usually around December, you got that right. The speed limit. Yeah. Typically, December, January, February, the numbers go down. Where I'm from, we can have 36 in a class, but because of COVID, they've reduced the number, and then we're going to an online component. Then you can increase. So typically December, January, February, numbers go down. And then March, April, May, June, July, boom. How much money you want to make? How many hours do you want to drive? Yeah, they do a lot of crazy things in Chicago, no doubt. But not try. I'm just stating facts, right? They drive very fast. If you're not used to driving that fast, you're either going to have to stay to the right or to the middle, or you're going to get tailgated. You're going to get road raged on. And then next thing you know, you're in a situation where this driver's tailgating me, flashing their lights. I can't get over, and someone's being angry at you. So that comes with experience. You will learn how to drive and be safe. If you can't maintain the speed, then you got to get over to the right lane. Now you're in the right lane. You got trucks merging out. That's scary in itself, because we were driving and big trucks turn on their blinker, one blink, and they cut over. And, those trucks are over 110 feet long, and you're driving and you could rear end a truck. So you really have to kind of check that traffic ahead, 4, 5, 10 cars. You got to check your blind spot. You got to check to the left and right. There's a lot going on, and that's where it could be stressful. We'll do a tutorial on interstate driving. That will be very educational for all of us. Cars accelerate better than they brake. What does this mean? You got to keep space. And we kept, 4 space cushion, 5 space cushion. You don't want to be on top of cars because if someone hits that brake really hard, you're going to have to hit your brake hard and then the next car and the next car. So practice losing control over your car. What does this mean? You go into a parking lot. You do some skids. You turn that wheel to see what the rear of the car will do. You turn it to so if you're driving a F-150, a Ram 1500, a smaller lightweight. Oh, it has some sandbags in the back. Has some weight over those rear tires, right? Has some jumper cables. Have that tow rope. I talked about these things because you don't want to have to rely on someone. People are willing to help. They'll stop, but hey, I don't have a tow rope. I don't have jumper cables. Have those things in there in your vehicle that you need. And again, stop spending winters in Canada. Go back to Texas, drive around. There's nothing wrong with Canada. I have a lot of viewers from Canada, the UAE, different areas of the world. So I'm really blessed. And so let's kind of wrap this up. I'm a state certified instructor. I teach teens and adults. Drove to Iowa yesterday, 9 hours away. So I'm still kind of recovering. Got a nice 8 hours sleep. And I'll share that experience with you. I have 2 good videos on my channel. One, us going over a bridge over the Mississippi River. We left Iowa and got into Illinois. Very small, curvy, tight roads. People going slow, people going fast, roads going to the right, roads going to the left. Good driving experience. Driving through Iowa, elevated roads, rural highways. The ditch is 5 feet down, 6. I should have jumped in the ditch to video to show you. I do have another video that I'll upload, and you can see it. So that's no joke. But I just want to say thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you have not already subscribe to the channel. We have almost 200 videos, good learning, good tutorials. I just want to say thank you. God bless you. Please subscribe to Driving with Myles. More content is coming. God bless you and thank you.